Saying a special good morning to our listeners, saying a special good morning once again to our viewers. Welcome to The Point for today, Friday, the 13th day of February 2026. Good morning once again to those of you via our social media platforms, Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning. How is everyone doing on this Friday, the 13th? Are you the one that follow the myth that comes around with Friday the 13th? I hope not. Hey, folks, we have an open line for you this morning, 435-2041, 435-2041. The lines are open to you, or listeners and viewers this morning. If you, of course, wants to bring a particular issue to the fore, feel free to do so. There's a particular concern that you would like to, of course, express this morning. Feel free to do so. 435, you have double the options of calling in, WhatsApp and the direct line. You could certainly do that this morning here on the Point. We're here until it's 10 a.m. this morning, 435-2041. We do have our first caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, morning, GT, and morning to your listeners and your viewers.
Good morning.
Is your colleague ill or is he okay?
No, he's not ill. He's just out. He'll be back on Monday.
Okay. We have to be concerned about each other, you know.
I understand.
Regardless where we sit on the fence. Which side of the fence we sit, in a manner of speaking. Anyway, I want to start off by, Mia Motley is being hailed as the successful person. Yes, at some level, anybody would win elections. In fact, the former Prime Minister of Grenada described elections as a game. So anybody could win. And also, I learned very painfully early on in my life that the court, for instance, is not a place where it's about truth, but the court is about who could paint the best picture and that kind of thing and be more dramatic. So winning elections, for me, there's no indication that you are an excellent leader. I just want to draw some parallel. Now, Mia, like the former Prime Minister of Grenada, they spent time fighting the predecessors. In the case of our former Prime Minister, we know what happened to Herbert Blaze. Fortunately for Owenota, he didn't suffer that fate as Herbert Blaze suffered under the former Prime Minister of Grenada. So you see, they have the same kind of traits. In addition, they seem to answer to the same master, the Republicans. Recently, I saw something coming into my attention that the current the former administration, the NNP party have turned to Jamaica Labour Party for some personnel to help in the election, in the upcoming election. We know the Jamaican involvement in Grenada's elections, which is part of the reason why we have this polarization and the kind of the colorism and that kind of, the color stuff. So, and then this person, the Jamaica Labour Party, is linked to the Republican Party in the United States, the U.S., Donald Trump. So if we cannot see the connection between these characters and how, show me your friends, and I'll tell you, your company, and I'll tell you who you are. So I say I'm raising other people to think seriously about who we consider as leaders and also give our support. In the case of the United States, for instance, people are wheeling right now. They're running, they're taking cover, and they're also being very silent. But I remember when Kamala Harris was chosen to be the runner against Trump, I asked a Pan-African platform I normally be on to give me the opportunity to raise a question. Are we going to be in solidarity? Are we going to be indifferent or in solidarity with Kamala Harris? That was the first time I'd ventured into the American political thing. And I remember mainly Africans, mainly men, was so, vulgar that they didn't even give me a chance to finish speaking. And my concern was warning of what would happen, whether it's in the environment, whether with the immigration and so on, whether it's in inability to receive funding. Not that I receive any funding from anybody via the Western Union and so on. And whatever happened, the same thing, but they were not willing to listen. And I know it's happening in Nigeria right now, where the ruling party have recruited certain high-paying doctors to prepare for the election. It would seem to me that the devil is really having a field day. GT, I'm becoming a little too huge, so I'll stop here. Maybe
let me ask you a question. I'm listening to you and you speak a lot there. I just want to get your personal thought. What is wrong with an individual who is associated with a certain political organization, want that personal ascension, wants to ascend to another level within a political organization, and maybe in the process of that individual wanting to ascend, someone may have gotten a little trampled upon, individuals. What is really wrong? What do you see as wrong with that?
One of the things, to answer your question, one of the things that our parents taught us and sometimes even beat us for is associated with people of questionable character. So if we know the history of the Republican Party, we know their activity in the region, why are we so associated with that? Look what they're doing. People are campaigning right now, right? There's an enormous rise in trauma in the United States among, especially in Minnesota, of children in schools and other things. And are we going to support, or align ourselves with that kind of, energy? So, to me, it says a lot, because, in the past, if a woman was seen with somebody who was considered whatever, I don't want to think, she was ridiculed. It's the same thing like how in the past, if a woman smoked, she was considered a drink. We consider that thing, although we didn't apply that to the men. I'm just saying the way people's association could dictate, could influence or could perception on even behavior. Look, the Epstein thing. And I want to ask the question, do we have any connection with the Epstein fiasco? I just want people to be critical in the thinking. It's easy. The folks, you see, there's so many ways that you can be deceived right now. Glitz and bling and that kind of thing. We need to be more introspective. We need to be more critical in our thinking. This is all I'm trying to get people. I'm not trying to get people to be like me, but we have made too many mistakes many times. Just imagine, I'll end here.
Thank you.
The people got it right in 1990 when they refused to let the then Dr. Mitchell and his group to become government. They only got 2 seats. But because people don't understand dynamics, by the next 5 years, the same person that they rejected, they put into power. And of course, he knows how to play games. They know how to play the games. They get instruction from Washington. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your call as always. 445-2041, 445-2041. That's the number. We have an open line this morning on today's edition of To The Point. Your calls are welcome. We do have another caller via WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning. I guess we seem to have lost that call there. 435, we do have another caller via the direct line. Direct line caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm blessed, man. In paradise, I'm living in paradise. Blessed place. No, the world right now, our city right now, we're not uproar right now.
Mm-hmm.
But America, some saying every day that you want to create a war, you ain't creating war, but you want to invade everybody's country. So what you want to deal with? He mentioned every time he don't want to create war. America lost the most war in the world. Invade the most country in the world. The most enemy in the world is America. The most enemy right now, 20 years ago, what the other president and them should do, they haven't done it. Someone pick up in his scrums right now and fight right now. They want to bring America back as the world police and them is the world and the world is America. God gave America the world. America invaded the most country in the world. America invaded China. Japan and England invade China. Drug them people up in the country without opium to kill them out. And what today? 75 years ago, China in the world right now with everything. And they have to respect China. And people educated, well known. The young working people. The hard working people. Industrial wise today.
All right.
But why somebody create a problem in the world, made the world unrest? On the military and the weapon on the individual country and go with the leader. So America, I mean, what White House really dealing with? People in White House. All the laws they have in White House. So them is the only country that the world laws to do what they want in the world. The world is their own. Invading everybody country and do what they want. The world is nice in the world now. But the problem in the world is military, weapon. They don't like care about weapon more than they care about human being, you know. You have people in America homeless in America. You have people in America homeless, boss man. Homeless people in the world in America.
All right, caller. Thank you. I think I get a drift of your direction. Have a good morning, man.
Blessed day.
All right, man. Blessings as always. 435-2041. Have a comment from someone via the WhatsApp. They say nothing is wrong in aiming for the top. What is wrong is when we decide to do so by any means necessary. Overzealousness can kill the calf. Interesting contribution there. Let's go back to the phone line. We do have a caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, I want to be on the program.
You're live. Go right ahead, please. You're live.
Okay. Yeah, I think...
You may have to turn off whatever you have in the background. That may be a form of distraction there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the political...
Caller, I'm asking if you have the television or the radio on in the background, please turn it off. It's distracting you a wee bit.
Oh, no. You're right. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the political system, what's going on in the world today. Yeah, you see, there are two...
Caller, I'm asking you once again, would you please turn off the television or the radio or have it lowered in the background? It's distracting you.
So I believe those who understand freedom. Freedom.
Morning. Good morning.
Caller, you are live. Good morning.
Morning. How are you, sir? Today?
I'm doing great. You go ahead, please.
Good. Yeah, what I like to see for what the NBC government do for the election, changing Minister of Agriculture, because that guy, he's not teaching the people right. He's teaching them people, young people, to wear the tie over the shoulder. Nobody else in the world do that. And if you're teaching people to do that, it's the same thing like how people learn to wear the pants below the bottom. So you're telling them when they go for a walk to put the tie over the shoulder. That's why you're trying to teach people. So they're supposed to change him. He is not good for that party because he will bring down that party. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much for sharing your opinion there. I'm not sure I have the tendency to agree with that. He's teaching others to do that. That's his preference in our manner in which he wants to wear his tie. It's up to him. Doesn't mean others have to follow. Sometimes we do have that tendency of thinking that we're supposed to follow what we see in other individuals do. So I may not fully agree with you that he's teaching others to do that. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, GT.
Good morning.
I cannot agree with this last caller there about the tie. I mean, that has nothing to do with somebody being selected as a candidate for election. I mean, come on, let's be real. You don't even have to wear a tie. This colonial string, he wearing it how he chooses to wear it. It's nothing to do with anybody.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Of course, I will agree with you also. I think how someone chooses to wear the tie, I don't think it takes away anything from them personally. 435-2041, the lines are open. Let's go to the phone line. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, sir.
There are universal standards and there are cultural standards. As far as I'm concerned, if I were to comment on the tie, wearing the tie, there are universal ideas, universal manners in certain environments. And if you are living in a country or in an area that have people wearing their ties in the back or on their shoulder, I don't think that is right. Your tie supposed to be worn in front of your chest, from your neck, around your neck right down. So you cannot say, sorry, when I say you may think it's you. One should never say that you shouldn't wear your tie. You should wear it. They are universal and in countries, customs and belief. And you have to live within the accepted condition in your environment. So when I hear people say you have to have different standard, standard is standard, and there should be only one standard or reasonable standard, not going through the extremes that some people or some set of people would condemn you. In certain areas in Greater, they are known for stealing people. And people in the other areas do not like that. This is not standard. So if we would have different standard, we would have different way of living. And we expect that, but at the same time, certain people that have certain standard, I would use the word would be ostracized. So people must know what they are saying. In fact, education means fit to live and fit to live with. In other words, you must do what is right and what is accepted in your community, where Grenada is a big community, and you have subdivisions. If you're tiffing in a community and the other people are not tiffing, then you would be ostracized. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. We do have another caller via WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. How
good morning to you.
Great. Okay, I want to make two points, please. I'll start immediately. First of all, I want to make an appeal as a former employee, right, represented by the Public Workers Union, that the leadership, the president and a team do what they know is morally correct, do what they know is right, not just from conscience, but based on ethics, based on principle, based on honesty and integrity. Right? I'm making this appeal in an honest, serious, sincere manner. And I'm serious, though not angry. I'm pretty upset with the type of service that is being rendered when the union leadership, they have an obligation legally and morally to attend to issues. And I'm making this appeal to the president and her team to do what she knows is necessary and what they know is necessary as it relates to the retirees who are represented by the Public Workers Union at the National Water and Sewage Authority. Secondly, I viewed some information and it was a bit disturbing. It relates to the incident with a young lady that was apparently murdered and the accused was brought to court. Who appeared to be the relatives of the deceased were venting their anger and their disapproval, etc. And we have to be sensitive as human beings. When someone's life is taken tragically, or when an incident occurs that is abnormal, we have to remember there will be emotional and psychological pain. So the relatives of the deceased were by the court and they were talking loud enough. A senior police officer reacted with insensitivity, and I want to be mild this morning and respectful, a high degree of brainlessness. In his assumption, he concluded that, and that is based on an assumption, there was no scientific method used to determine the noise level and who was being disturbed. Court in Grenada, far as I know, is held in a closed environment. And even though in his assumption that the court was being disturbed, he could have reacted differently to the people that were venting their feelings in a more intelligent and humane manner. You know, GT, sometimes power, especially political association and power, it causes us at times to be, you know, inhumane and forget how life should be governed. I'm saying this because today you are at the mountaintop, you are at the apex, and tomorrow you can be in the valley. I thought the senior police officer could have gone to the people that were, in his assumption, disturbing the court proceeding and explained to them to speak a bit softer instead of acting like a bully. I am disappointed but not surprised with him. Thanks for listening, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution also. We take another caller and then we take a break after this caller. Caller, you live. Good morning.
Good morning, GT. GT, how you doing?
I'm doing great. What about you this morning?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
All right. Let's hear from you. Think we may have lost the caller there for some reason or the other. And with that, let's take a break. When we come back, we continue. Stay with us. Don't touch it out. It's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV.
My name is Lyselle Walcott. I'm a staff nurse at the General Hospital for the past 16 years. At the Infection Control Department, we do surveillance for communicable diseases or hospital-acquired infections. We do outbreak investigations. So any issues we have, we would investigate it, find out the cause, and we would do recommendations and interventions to all relevant departments. Thus far, with Mount Sinai, we are looking at ways of improving hand hygiene. Hand hygiene has been proven to be one of the most important practices you could do to break the chain of infection. Working along with Mount Sinai, I foresee that it would be a very good thing for us. They are looking into the products that we use, the practices that we do. Going forward, we'll be able to achieve a very high level of compliance and safety across the board for everyone.
The countdown is on for the most exciting relay showdown in the nation. The IMA National Relay Meet, started for Saturday, February 21st, 2026, 3 p.m. at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come witness speed, relentless competition, and heart-pounding relays that will keep you at the edge of your seats from start to finish. The island's fastest teams will battle for glory, but who will rise to the top and claim the prizes? You have to be there to see live. Admission finish line $50, main stand $30, secondary stand $20, and bleachers $15. Children 12 and under pay $15 for main and secondary stands and bleachers. Get your tickets. Feel the speed. The IMA National Relay Meet 2026, the ultimate relay experience.
Camahorn Boat, a powerful multimedia production, presented at Carafesta 15, written and directed by Chris DeRiggs. One big performance, only at the Grenada Trade Center on Saturday, 7th March at 7 p.m. The Camahorn Boat is the ship of state, Grenada, sailing to its destiny. The Camahorn Boat is a call for unity, an exciting story about patriotism, played out by Grenada's best acting talents, featuring Samuel Ogilvie, Robert White, Debbie Gilchrist, Bianchi Toussaint, Dillian Walters, and others. Come out and join us in celebrating our Grenadianness on Saturday, 7th March, 7 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center. Admission almost free. Advance tickets are $50, $65 at the door. Your ticket outlets: Giddens Pharmacy Grand Anse, Art and Soul Bookstore, Spiceline Mall, Mitchell's Pharmacy Grand Anse, 3B's Shoe Store, downtown St. George, and other places. Bring out the entire family and enjoy a wonderful evening of Grenadian theater on 7th March at Grenada Trade Center, 7 p.m.
Do you own an antique, a classic, a custom-built car or motorcycle, or a fully loaded modern car or truck? Come, show off your ride. Register now to be part of Grenada Auto Fest, and you can win part of the grand prize of over $50,000 in cash and prizes. Register online via our social media pages or at www.grenadaautofest.com. Saturday, March 14th at the Royal St. John's Playing Field, we recognize our partner, Waggity Renters and Son Company, True Blue Bay Boutique Resort, On The Spot Hardware, and all the companies that sponsored our category prizes. Remember, over $50,000 in cash and prizes to be won. Grenada Auto Fest, Saturday, March 14th, Tantin.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Once again, it's To The Point Classic Radio, GBN TV. It's Friday, the 13th today of February 2026. We have an open line this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're live.
Good morning, GT. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great. How are you doing yourself?
I'm doing okay, and it's always a pleasure to call in on your program, as well as Mr. Colin Dow program, because I tend to believe, I don't know if others may see or share the same sentiment, but this is this is programs where we get to share our views and we put the right things in place. And also, we hold our leaders accountable in a lot of cases on independent programs like that. So, GT, I just want to tell you for 2026, continue giving us good programs.
I will try my best.
We appreciate it.
All right.
And also, my contribution for this morning, GT, something that I saw on the on GBN MTV News the other night with the meeting that was held with couple contractors, and my 2 cents on that. I had some questions to ask, because I knew from when the Rex Resort was being transformed to Royalton, and NH got that project was to do because of the capacity. They was big enough, and they had various subcontractors that they had on that project, including creative design, Sunrise Constructions, etc., etc. Now, say this to say, now I saw some of these contractors out there, and there was in comment of late payments, and they was speaking of, to go around the island and, round up some of those young people on the various blocks, etc., to come and work, knowing that we currently have a skill shortage in Grenada. Because GT, you could, if you pass through maybe with when range development and all these different places, even the same Royalton, most of the people who has the skill, GT, in my view, people from the 60s, 70s, 80s, some in the 90s. We move to the modern era, and most of the young people that we get, in most cases, they are just helpers on this project. Now, also, GT, when a contractor come out to bid for a contract, like the same NH, Reno, Creative Design, or Kenny's. Now, some out of these contractors, the rest of contractors, it seems to me like they're doing a business, in my opinion, on a hand-to-mouth basis. That's what I gathered from this thing, because you have these big companies and them, put them in that bracket, coming and they're doing works for whether it's government or private, and they hold their own. Even if they employ subcontractors, they don't rely or have to wait, I guess, because they must have put up that threshold where they have that couple millions to carry the contract forward. And I could understand, GT, if you were telling me persons who may be doing bathroom and toilet and maybe 100 feet of road, 60 feet of road, they depending on that money to pay workers, and they have to sit back and wait. I could understand that, but you can't tell me, for example, the Cliff project or the asphalting of True Blue area. You have a contractor who's been out there so long, many years, with backing, and you hire subcontractors, and this is a problem in a GT, because I am one who deals with this thing on a regular. The people who take the work, in most cases, they're unable to pay the subcontractors. This is the smaller guys that come along on the work, and when they're unable to pay those guys and them, we get slow pace of work, and they're saying that they ain't received pay yet. How you telling me you ain't received pay? You're supposed to have a certain amount of money to back up your workforce, to pay your subcontractors while you wait, if ever you wait. No, Look, the Chinese GT. The Chinese came and they did this work by the airport down there. They did the housing schemes, and they never had problems with paying Grenadian workers. The one or two who they employed, they never had no problem in paying them. Why is it that our local contractors, minus Latouche and Kenny's, why do we have to have this problem with our local contractors that they go for work, they bid for work, they get the work, and the government and who give these people this work need to ensure that these people have the right amount of money in backing to sustain that project until they receive salaries. Look, now I hear the Prime Minister speak of having major companies, 3 major companies coming in to do road works, road paving, proper road paving from the airport to wherever. And these companies that been here so long, look, True Blue, in our area, they take so long, GT, to asphalt that place. And in some instances, you still might have little waterlogging from that same company that's on the cliff today. So I think the problem is not really you don't know, to put the payment on, okay, we didn't receive payment from the government yet or whatever is the case. You're supposed to be sustainable. You're supposed to meet a certain threshold in order for you to be getting major contracts outside here, GT. Right. That's my
Thank you. On the whole Thank you. So we got your point there. Caller, you're live. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, GT. Good morning to you. Listeners. GT, I have a couple of concerns. First of all, and I did not want to get involved in this matter at all, because I believe the Constitution gives us, everybody in Grenada, an opportunity to associate with whoever they want to. So that is guaranteed under the Constitution. However, there are certain rules and regulations that goes forward that people have to adhere to, because if we don't, then we have a chaotic society. And especially those people who are trying to attain political power, they are also would be making the laws. They are the ones responsible for going to Parliament and enacting laws. And when from this early stage, you cannot adhere to rules that governs your employment, then one have to ask the question, what should we expect if you attain political power, even at the highest level? This is a concern of mine. And as I said, people have the right to associate and have freedom of speech and all of those things. That is people's right. I'm not against that. But if we don't follow the rules and regulations, then we'll have chaos in the society. And that is something that is disturbing. I'm seeing that happening now, and it is not a good sign. Additionally, we are in the political, people are called stupid season and all of that thing. And I'm noticing certain developments taking place. I like to call it the superimposition of candidates on certain constituencies. It's unfortunate. I know it's a process, and the constituents has a right to determine who the candidates are. Someone could be suggested from anywhere, but the right of ratifying should be vested in the constituency who that person is wanting to run for. And it's unfortunate that these sort of things are happening, and people are not speaking about it. This imposition on people, and it seems like it is okay, you know what I mean, for political expediency. And these are people who I say, knowing what they're doing is wrong. Politics is not a different thing from normal life. It's about people. And if you are attempting to get yourself involved in politics, and you are breaking the rules from the onset, then what will happen when you get there? That is just my 2 pence on the situation that I'm viewing. I don't want to get to be speaking on that matter, because I think people who are in those positions should be more responsible in terms of how they conduct themselves, because you are aspiring to be at the highest level. And even if that rules have been broken in the past, you cannot justify your action by breaking it now, and saying, well, look, it has been done by the past, so it's okay. If it is wrong, it is wrong. Thank you, and have a good morning.
Thank you. Appreciate your call also, and certainly got your point there. 435-2041. Here's a comment from someone via the WhatsApp. They're saying, I would like to talk about the destruction of the display on Green Bridge. It was a beautiful decoration. I saw many buses with tourists stopping by and took pictures. I myself took pictures. I think that the political representative of the area should come out and talk about the destruction. The individuals who did it have or has a low IQ, of course, of high ignorance, and I do hope that individual will be caught, because I know someone saw what went on. And that's someone speaking about that there. Let's go back to the phone line. We lost that caller there. 435-2041, 435. We're going until it's 10 a.m. this morning. It's to the point for today, Friday, the 13th of February. Caller, you are live. Good morning.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to you.
I don't know what happened. We got cut off. But GT, I would like to make 2 points.
Go right ahead, please.
Yes, our justice system in Grenada failed us miserable, and from time to time, from generation, not now. And I believe by now we should have some form of improvement. But you see, we are dealing with the same constitution, the same laws. GT.
I am here with you. Go right ahead, caller. Were you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening on your phone.
Yes, you go right ahead, please. We are hearing you live.
All right. Yes. So, GT, for instance, the rape and thing with from generation, this thing happening. It's not new here. And when they put you as the rapist or the murderer in jail, at a certain time you perform well in the jail, they let you out. Now there's no justice for me as my daughter or gran or whoever was the victim. I have to look at you on the bus. I have to look at you in the street, and then I tempted to take matters into my own hands if I can. So I think they need to change the constitution. I have a suggestion. Anytime you rape a young girl, a lady, that you get castrated and you kill them, that's a different charge altogether. Now, other thing I want to talk about is the union. Now, you go into almost every department of the government ministries, and the workers are not performing. And when the administration moves them or they dismiss them, then the union coming up and blah, blah. The union have to stop holding the government, the Grenada, hostage and teach and let the workers know they have to perform. They have to stop this attitude in society. This is a big problem. However, GT, I really hope that our justice system will come to something so that we can have some form of satisfaction. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Also, have a great day. We do have another caller. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yes, GTL, I said I will come back depending on how things go. But let me just say quickly, in terms of the leadership of the people who are here as leader, I'm asking the question myself. The Caribbean is facing a very difficult period and has faced. One of the individuals that have been here as a leader was here and maybe good for show during COVID, and that is me. And I don't think we could question. But I'm asking myself the question, in terms of the current onslaught on the Caribbean and the problem, the decadence that is happening in Haiti, where have been our dear lady in Haiti? On the question of the shale that have been under pressure from France and so on, where have been her leadership? These are things that people need to ask. Of course, she can make some nice sounding statement, like how Ramaphosa in South Africa used to make, but we know what he is now. I mean, let us be serious. How could she be considered an excellent leader when she leaving the Caribbean to fall apart? She should, in my estimation, come forward and help to unify the Caribbean, which she have not been doing. Everybody been on their own. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have another caller. Caller live. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, greetings, Mr. Telesford. Trust that all is well with you. Can you hear me well,
Yeah,
Mr.
we hear you
Telesford?
loud and clear. Go right ahead, please, sir.
Yes, this morning, Mr. Telesford, I want to make a serious denunciation. But I wish to establish before and to send the message to those, quote-unquote, who believe that because they are in, quote-unquote, power, they can do what they want in this here country with the remainder of the citizenry. I want to challenge the Ministry of Social Development and the Ministry of Health this morning and to warn them of the following. Each and every citizen of this here country are entitled to their rights. Mr. Telesford, I went to the doctor Monday because on Sunday I suffered a very strange thing in my life. You know, when the years come around, a lot of things happen. So I found myself at the doctor and I was diagnosed with a certain case, suspicious. But I was asked and ordered to get some tests done. As a matter of fact, the nurse for me consulted the laboratory, there are 6 or 7 of them. Only some could be done in the government's laboratory, the state's laboratory. But the others, and I pay for them. I can't pay for them, Mr. Telesford, so I can't. So I did what I had to do, and I've been doing for 2 or 3 years, 3 occasions, pardon, within the last 16 years. I consulted the Ministry of Social Development, which has a branch within the hospital services, and I was told, Mr. Roller, we can't do it, we stopped doing that. Well, this word I'm out thing, I don't take it, so I got on the computer and I sent out an email to the Ministry of Social Development. They responded to me and transferred the issue through another email, which they attached to me, or connected to me, to the Ministry of Health. And the Ministry of Health, a junior of and the communication between the 2 ministries was through to the prominent secretaries. A junior officer wrote back to me and told me, look, you have to go and start all over again, go to the hospital, and then they will tell, listen, Mr. Telesford, today is Friday up to now, they haven't responded to me to let me know if the state will pay for the medical services I ought to get as a citizen. One, as an elderly one, as a matter of fact, as a person with disability, and as René Descartes in the 17th century said, cogito ergo sum. It means I think, therefore I am. I exist, and I shall not let any one of them at any time abuse me. So I'm here to challenge them this morning. The last email, at the end of it, I put in exclamation, my health is failing. No, my tongue is not failing, and you can count on that it will never fail. When that fails, I'm gone. But in the interim, I think, therefore I am. And I challenge you, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Social Development and the permanent secretary of Ministry of Health, to communicate with me through the accustomed method and let me know when I can get my medical test, and I'll tell in the world if anything happens to me, these are the people that be held responsible. This beep had to finish in this here country. Abuse! It has to end once and for all. And I know why they're doing it. Because I challenge them. And I don't have any way. I'll stop here for now, Mr. Telesford. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. And best wishes to you for the rest of the day. Certainly hope that issue that you spoke about, of course, get resolved as soon as possible. Hey, folks, we due for a break. Let's take it. On return, we continue with the final segment of today's edition of To The Point. We will be right back after the break. Don't touch it down.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip?
Grenada, something good is coming. It's closer than you think. A small moment can change your whole day. A new kind of fun is about to begin. Grenada, your day's about to pop.
This Valentine, celebrate under the stars at Love Fest. Saturday, February 14th at Quarantine Point Recreational Park from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Featuring all the way from Antigua, Burning Flames. Also live, Sabrina Francis, Rita, and Ultimate Perfections Band, Pan Wizards, and more. General admission starts at $100. Grab a couple special for only $180 while stocks last. Tickets are available at Grenadian Optical, Eventbrite, and GoToFed.com. Upgrade your experience with our bottle service, Sweetheart Table for Two, or a more private Cupid's Cabana. Our Love Fest partners, Lashington Agency, Sunrise Airways, Netherlands Insurance, GBN, Boss FM, Grenada Tourism Authority. Flow, produced by Upstage. Love Fest is on Valentine's Day, Saturday, February 14th, starting 6 p.m. at Quarantine Point.
Grenada, the countdown is on for the most exciting relay showdown in the nation. The IMA National Relay Meet, started for Saturday, February 21st, 2026, 3 p.m. at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come witness speed, relentless competition, and heart-pounding relays that will keep you at the edge of your seats from start to finish. The island's fastest teams will battle for glory, but who will rise to the top and claim the prizes? You have to be there to see live. Admission finish line $50, main stand $30, secondary stand $20, and bleachers $15. Children 12 and under pay $15 for main and secondary stands and bleachers. Get your tickets. Feel the speed. The IMA National Relay Meet 2026, the ultimate relay experience.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. We have an open line edition today. We're taking your calls. We go in live to another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, brother.
Good morning to you.
You hear me good?
You there, caller?
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Go right ahead, please.
Jay, why are we having problem with contractors or having problem with we cannot find skilled workers? Remember, NMP was in office a couple of years back, and we never used to hear that talk about we can't find workers, we have problem with contractors. We never hear that kind of story. So why are we hearing it right now? Let me tell you why we're in that.
Well, caller, you saying you have never heard that particular, of course, comment that there are a lack of skilled workers in Grenada?
I never heard it.
Okay.
Maybe it was said I didn't hear it. But here why we're in that position right now. We have this process, we have this bidding process. We project that costs more than 15 grand. We have to have 3 bidders. We remove that. Say, no, we don't want no bidders. We raise it to 15 grand to 100 grand. And say, you know what, we're going to give anybody that. We just get a man we think the contractor and give that to do. Those people cannot build. So they go and they mess up the project. And somehow we find, well, it's their fault and it's not our fault. Because anywhere you go in the world, there's a bidding process to figure out whether that contractor is aware or could handle this scope of work. And so you have a bidding process. If you remove that, you are actually bringing in puppy show. So when you remove that, you don't know it's your fault. So if a homeowner, somebody wants to build a house, they get involved in a contract with a contractor, and the contractor here, right, contractor is supposed to come up with at least 30% or 40% of the money up front of the project. But the contractor expects when that 30% that work is done, the owner of the house has to come up with the money to keep the project moving. If the owner don't come up with the money, then the project is going to stall. So, likewise, if the government give a contract to a contractor, and the contractor spends his money, we just have to put place with the project. And the government will come up with the rest of the money to continue the project. It's going to stall. When the project starts, it's the same way, the contractor is at fault. Nobody's blaming the government. And say maybe the government is it. Come up with a new scheme now. You say, okay, people that have money, you go give those who have money, contractors. They can finance the project for themselves. That's leading to the next problem again. That contractor has to spend money to build a project. Who's going to say that project going to build in the proper way? They go say, you know what, I spend my money here. I try to make a profit. I go use less material, less steel, less this, less that, and try to get back my money on smart. And then that project now wouldn't last the expected years it's supposed to last. So we have to be very careful. Because remember, concrete will get hard, But how long? If you don't construct that thing properly, it's going to crack and crumble. So it's very important that when you're doing a project, use the proper scale and the proper method for that thing to be. After 5 years, 10 years, you're going to crack and fall back down if you ain't built properly.
All right, Colin, get your point.
We make sure that we get everything straight. And Jay, take some point.
All right, thank you. Caller via WhatsApp, you're live. Good morning.
Yes, good morning again.
Good morning to you.
My point this morning is that we have too many females in politics in Grenada to let this kind of social problems continue. So something is wrong. We have quite a lot of females in politics, in all different political parties. And yet we have these social problems going on with old people, with children, so what are they doing? The time has come for them to stand up and let their voices be heard in a unified way. This time is not politics. This time it must be in a unified way. Too many females in politics in Grenada for us to continue. It's not today we're hearing of man doing little children, old people. That is not today. When will it stop? Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also. Appreciate your contribution. Caller, you're live. Caller, good morning.
Hello.
Caller, you are live. Good morning. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, GT. I'm just calling in here, GT, to put something on the notice, GT. Since Monday, trying to get through with the Ministry of Finance, Accountant General. GT, I heard the PW president last night was kicking off so many dismissals taking place, GT. I'm not saying it's the best thing that should be happening. But you see, we in Little Grenada here, and every time you go to get something done in the ministry, right, and that's the public service, they're supposed to be serving the public. GT is always a hassle. It's always a hassle and a bustle. You think Grenadian people supposed to be in a position whereby some receive salaries, some don't receive salaries, whether it's police, whether it's doctors, whether it's contractors. If the people inside doing their work, GT, as they're supposed to, as they're tasked with doing, because the union is always quick to run up and say things. And this is a thing that's been happening in all past administration. I ain't talking about NMT, NDC. It goes way back. And it still continues. And the union will make noise, as how they did for one worker on the port. Every December, we have the port shutting down. Every December, there is a strike action taking place. ACB Bank with a problem, and they yet to shut down ACB Bank. So GT, the people that are doing this work and them, they're too complacent. They need to do their work, stop having all this political affiliation, whether it's NDC, NMP, and just do their work, because when they're not doing their work, GT, take for example, look, you could get through it to the point, GBN to the point, and you can't get through with a lot of ministries in the government currently. And people having problem with payroll, GT, and there is people to deal with payroll. How come that ain't happening in the private sector? Why is it not happening in the private sector? Why is only on the government institution that you're having these problems and then the union quick to jump up and say, oh, we come in and we filing strike action because this person that and that person that, and they've been dismissed unlawfully, and they have the most to say. But these people, they're wasting time, they're wasting resources on the government, and that's a fact. And anybody want to dispute that, I dare them to dispute that, because I have experience. And as a matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do, Chiti, I'm going to get a meeting with the Prime Minister, and I'm going to have a meeting with the opposition leader, as one after the other, within the 2 weeks to come. Because this thing need to address. We cannot have people inside it not doing the work, and then you want a pension, because some of us outside here in the private sector, we're not as lucky as them. They're getting a good pension with the last salary when they go big fat gratuity, and they're being paid in most cases for doing nothing, because you can't get them when you want something important. And to hear people out there, saying, oh, the union representative, they're firing and they're dismissing them and whatever. What about the lack of work? They're not producing. They are not producing, and it needs to be addressed. The unions themselves need to stop collecting a paycheck, because I tally the money, GT, and let me wrap up. And the union in itself collecting an excess of $100,000, They have over 4,000. PW have over 4,000 workers collecting union dues for. Where all this money is going? Where is this money? This money is not even accessible to the people of the country to say that they can loan from, to invest and develop their lives. These monies and them, the president and all these people, when they retire, they have a nice big fat pension, so they come and they blow hot air, and they get big fat pension for big fat gratuity for just blowing hot air, and instead they focus on getting the people to do the work as they're supposed to. They're not doing it. Why they cannot hold Spice Island Beach Resort with big protests? Why they cannot hold ACB Bank with big protests? Why they cannot hold Republic Banks with big protests? Only government agencies, you see, they will disrupt and they stall work. We don't have any problem already as taxpayers to get the services we need, and they're still choosing when it's convenient to them as union leaders to slow us down, the population. This thing needs to stop. And I would recommend getting people like Miss McDonald and them from Spice Island, which is and whosoever, to come in. They need private sector involvement inside government, statutory bodies, and entities to solve this problem. We cannot be living so GP. If you're talking transformation, they need to transform the private sector.
Thank you for your contribution this morning, sir. Appreciate it a whole lot. We do have another caller, which will be our final caller for the morning. Caller via WhatsApp, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning, GT, and how are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Good Friday to you.
No, thank you, sir. Same to you. I've been hearing a caller keep calling consistently over, asking that question in regards to the persons that would have received documentation in respect to the Fishers folks area, in that they did not that now they are not able to, and who would have actually gotten the documents and so forth. So I did a little research. I went into Google and I Googled who was the Minister of Fisheries in Grenada between the 2017. I went back and I Googled for who was it at the 2016, who was it in the 2018, and then I because my thing, I was going to look to see who actually was there. And I did, it came up and it kind of astounded me, GT, that I noticed that the person who was there in 2017, they were also there in 2018, although there was somebody different in 2016. 2019 had a different person. 2020 had the person who was there in 2016, and they were also in 2021. And I 2021, but there was a change midway in 2021 to a different person altogether. And I sat back and I thought, and I said to myself, this may have contributed to some of the reasons why they may have been the problem. But definitely the person who was there in 2017 and 2018 could have actually dealt with it. He had 2 years to make sure that what was needed so that the Fisher people could have actually gotten what so the Fisher people wouldn't have the problem now, and they wouldn't have to seek for a delay of the sanctions, which means that they wouldn't be able to actually ship fish to the United States. Now, and I happen to also notice that said person is still going to be contesting. If there is an election coming soon, that person was still going to be coming up. And the question keeps bothering me. How could you then go back and contest, knowing that the Fisher folks cannot sell their fish to the U.S., and they have a tardiness in their earnings, and they won't be able to take care of their situation now, and that you're still going to come forward as a good candidate for the upcoming election? So my question is GT, where are we going? Would that person come forward and confront and say, well, yes, I was there and I did not know, or come forward and say, well, I came, what was the reason why that person could not have dealt with the situation at the particular time? You were there for 2 years, 2017, 2018, and you did not deal with the situation in respect to dealing so that fish can be exported from Grenada to the U.S. And now you still want to come back and still contest again. Then the question is, would you continue to do the same thing? in regards to whatever area that you are now left with. And persons like this we need to have them on the program. We need to actually speak to them and to question them as to why this wasn't done, why this wasn't done appropriately and at a timely manner so that this could have been resolved. You know, it bothers me that in the private sector, like the gentleman before you said, you cannot do something like that and still want to be employed. Because if you cause in the private sector, you cause people to be losing millions of dollars, you would need a job. You know, and I hope and pray that somehow that situation get resolved. But I also hope and pray that Grenadian people go in and search, look and see what would have actually, who was there, who would have actually dealt with the situation in 2017, 2018, and know that this person should not be allowed to actually be able to serve the people of Grenada because he didn't do a good job. Thank you very much, GT.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your call. Have a great day. What's left of it. Hey, folks, that's what we're going to take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. I want to thank all who contributed towards today's edition of To The Point. I want to thank all who've been with me all morning long. Thank you so much. Until we have another edition for you of To The Point, will be next week. Have a great weekend to come, and hope all is well. Will be well with you also. Hope to speak to you again on Monday. That's where I say goodbye.